When William Samoei Ruto ascended to power, he immediately embarked on a very slippery exercise, and that was to ensure that all the projects that were initiated and perpetuated by his predecessor, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, were all suspended and abandoned, regardless of their benefits to the people of Kenya. He abandoned and suspended all the subsidies. He lifted the ban on GMO. He kicked out his members whom he had appointed into various departments, and he did away with the military men who had been incorporated into the service, the civil servants. And that has really cost Kenyans, because things like subsidies were meant to cushion Kenyans from poverty and the high cost of living. They have been suspended. The biggest debate that people have is whether he was right in doing away with everything in the name of Uhuru Kenyatta. This is because recently he has been seen relaunching Uhuru's projects, something that pundits say is very pathetic and is pointing to a man who lacks vision and a government that has lost focus. The other problem that we have in the government is that we don't have anybody who can face Ruto and tell him, sir, you are wrong. All of them are busy praising him even when things are not going right. To make it worse, his deputy, who is supposed to compliment him, is even worse, because all of them and those who surround him are so much preoccupied with politics, succession politics, that we still have like 7 or 8 years away. That is if I'm considering what is in their mind, that William Ruto must do 2 terms. And so this has left this government and administration an amorphous administration. It does not have any head, tail, you know that. One person decided to occupy that vacuum, and he decided that maybe it is high time I speak to the president and tell him the truth. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja decided to enlighten William Samoei Ruto concerning some of the projects that were suspended. Sakaja asks Ruto to reinstate Uhuru program. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja has appealed to President William Ruto to reinstate the Kazi Mtaani program, citing its positive impact to the country. Speaking during the launch of Innovative Nairobi 2023 in South Sea, Sakaja pointed out that the initiative had culminated in a 47% decrease in crime rates in Nairobi and provided youths with available avenue to earn an honest living. That is the Nairobi governor. This is the first time the governor argued that the move would be a step in the right direction, especially at the moment when Nairobi residents are grappling with the high cost of living. Number one, for the first time we have a governor who has accepted that there is we are grappling with the high cost of living. And for the first time we have a governor, a UDA governor, who is saying that we have the Kenya is grappling with the high cost of living, and he is not blaming the former regime. If it were Rigiji or Ndindi Nyoro or Kimani Ichung'wah, they would have started bashing the previous administration. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we have very few people in this government who can look at Ruto in the face and tell him, sir, I think we need to do this. If there is one thing that William Ruto does not want to hear, is the reinstatement of Uhuru projects, because he wants to do away with everything that Uhuru did. He wants that after 5 years, when you look at things, the only thing you see is Ruto. Unfortunately, it's not working. Let's just face the truth. If it was working, he would have gone there to relaunch Uhuru projects. And someone was saying that very soon Ruto will soon relaunch the Thika superhighway. If you look at the Kazim Tani, just try to remove politics around it. When Kenyans were faced with the corona pandemic, this monster cost people their jobs. And I know if you are not affected in one way or the other, you have a friend or a relative. It was very pathetic. The hotel industry, tourism industry, people who are the cream in the society, suddenly started begging because it was very pathetic. It taught us a lesson. And Uhuru Kenyatta came up with several cushioning measures. One of them was to bring Kazim Tani. What Sakaja says, a means of earning a honest living. If you see Sakaja talking this way, he's got statistics that the rate of crime has increased in Nairobi. Youth don't have jobs, I can assure you. You saw youths complaining. The report that was released recently shows that when people complete school and vis-a-vis the jobs that are there, unemployment rate doubles every day compared to the opportunities that we have. And Sakaja is telling William Ruto, maybe it is high time we reinstate the Kazim Tani. If you see him talk this way, he knows the kind of trouble and problem that we are going through. William Ruto must accept that in a government, there are policies that you don't just rubbish for political mileage. I don't think that William Ruto will be reduced to a nobody if he just comes and accepts that we need to pick it up from where Uhuru left it. They were in this together. To make it worse, he said that when you are in a hole, you realize that you're in a hole, you stop digging. And he was referring that Uhuru Kenyatta borrowed so much money that it plunged into an economic quagmire, a debt trap. They said they would stop borrowing. But if you look at the statistics, they have borrowed so much money within the first 8 months compared to his predecessor. This tells you that we are dealing with a government that is feeding us with fallacy. They campaigned on a fallacious ground and they continue to lie to maintain what they said. How I wish that William Ruto could listen to some of these people who are telling him the truth. When they were in Sagana, the member of parliament for Odhaya, I'm forgetting the name, took to the podium and told William Ruto, now that we don't have the demonstrations, now that you are engaged in talks, can you fight this monster called corruption? It is eating everything behind you. Mbele iko sawa, lakini nyuma yako kuna hii mnyama inaitwa ufisadi inaikula. No one would dare tell you. People were there praising William Ruto, showering with praises, talking about maandamano, talking about Atuta Kubali Nusumkate. But there is this one MP who decided to tell him the truth. And many times when you tell William Ruto the truth, it might not even grab the headlines, because even the mainstream media did not capture this man. Or maybe it passed my attention. If at all I need to be corrected. People were busy highlighting hatutaki maandamano, hatutaki nusukate. But this one person who told William Ruto that we need to sit down and stop corruption, I don't think people talked so much about it. And so this is a wake-up call, ladies and gentlemen, that William Ruto must look into some of these things. When Uhuru Kenyatta got into power, in fact Uhuru in 2013, 13, they continued with a policy framework, especially on infrastructure, and added value to what Kibaki had left behind. There could have been some mistakes here and there, some loopholes. Like when we were constructing the SGR, there was a lot of money that was spent, and I understand there would have been corruption in it. Let's just speak the truth. But at least the policy was they develop and perpetuate the infrastructure that was at the heart of Raila and Kibaki. Now that he comes to power, he wants to do away with everything. Not because they're not helpful, but because he wants everything under his name. And because he wants to perpetuate the legacy of the IMF, the US, and the World Bank. And it is very sad. We need to stand as a country. And William Ruto is being called upon to relook into some of these things. And I'm happy that on one side he's talking this way, on the other side he is reinstating some of these measures. I know the affordable housing is something that is at the close of his heart, but he's not the one who initiated. This is something that was initiated even in the Kibaki's administration. And so while he is perpetuating this, let him not lie that he can do away with all of these projects. Let him reinstate this. If you ask Nairobians, they will. I understand some people are saying that ilikuwa kazi kwa vijana, pesa kwa wazee. If you realize that money was going into people's pockets, just correct everything, ensure that money goes to the right pockets, but don't do away with it. The same thing they're saying, that they have stopped subsidy on unga because they realized money was not going to the right pockets. Now that they have the authority, why can't they just reinstate the subsidies but ensure that money goes to the right people? On this, I agree with Sakaja and many who surround William Ruto. Can you tell him the truth? You see, when William Ruto succeeds, Kenya succeeds. And when he fails, Kenya fails. All of us fail. Like right now he has lost direction. We have all lost direction. I don't know what to think, but that is my take.